On the night of May 1st to 2nd, 2023, one of the residents of the city of Obukhiv in the Kiev region just couldn't fall asleep. He kept making phone calls, sending text messages, and thinking about an unthinkable crime that he was about to carry out. When dark thoughts completely took over his mind, the man woke up his adult children and told them that today their lives would end. This will undoubtedly be creepy. Nevertheless, make yourselves comfortable, dear ones. After all, this is terrifying.
Kiev Region Police, how can I help you?
Please come to Obukhiv City on... My father killed my sister. He killed my sister. Yes, she is lying in the hall right now.
All right, calm down, wait for the squad to arrive. Don't go by yourself, understood? Until the police arrive, don't go into the house. Stay where you are hiding and wait there.
It was exactly this kind of call in the middle of the night that came to the Obukhiv police department from a 12-year-old boy named Artem. Recognizing the situation's seriousness, the police quickly responded and arrived at the boy's given address. There, they were already faced with the scene of an extremely brutal crime. It seemed that the entire first floor of the house was covered in blood. There was a strong smell of gas in the home, and on the kitchen floor lay the bodies of a 16-year-old girl and a 42-year-old man. None of them showed any signs of life. The police officers shut off the gas, called for medics, and began inspecting the house. Soon, in the basement, they found a frightened teenager who was actually the one who had called them. Unable to hold back his tears, the boy asked,
Come out. What happened? Calm down. Calm down, what happened? Tell me, wait, is this your sister?
Before we get to the crime itself and its motives, let's first learn a bit more about the family in which this tragedy happened. Actually, there isn't much information about them available to the public, since minors are involved in the case. Nevertheless, the children's father, Mr. Mykola, used to work as a gardener, and in the last 2 years he got a job as a loader and was raising his daughter and son on his own. Their mother, Ina, left for Germany to work in October 2022. There, the woman worked in an Asian restaurant where she held the position of kitchen assistant. As neighbors and people close to the family noted, it seemed to them that the man was taking good care of his children. At least he doesn't mistreat them. Irina, a teacher at the Bukhivska school where these teenagers studied, said that their family was calm and very responsible. The children were well cared for and involved in sports. Artem did kickboxing, his sister danced. The girl performed quite a lot and even won prizes. However, despite her success in dancing, in the future she still dreamed of becoming a chef. The father of the family attended all the school meetings. When the mother was in Ukraine, she also attended them regularly. If needed, the parents always informed in advance when their teenagers would miss classes.
The father was always in touch with me when the child would be absent. For example, he wrote to me on the eve of April 29th saying that the child was going to a competition and Artem would not be at school.
According to his teacher, by nature Artem was active, cheerful, and joyful. However, he was hard to approach and seemed a bit withdrawn. On May 1st, 2023, a few hours before the crime that would forever change this family's life, Artem returned from practice and went to visit the neighbors with his father. They were celebrating the birthday of the lady of the house. According to Petro, the husband of the birthday woman, Mykola came to them already drunk. Just a few hours earlier, neighbors saw him sober, mowing the lawn and working in his yard. Already during the feast, Mykola spent all his time on the phone, texting someone and often stepping away to make calls. Artem was also acting strangely at the time. When the birthday girl brought the cake, the boy waited for his father to leave, ate it, and wiped his plate with a napkin. As Petro noted, it seemed strange to him because Artem had never done anything like that before. After the celebration ended, the guests left and the hosts went to bed. In the middle of the night, Petro was awakened by a phone call from an unknown number. The man answered. On the other end of the line, he heard someone say in an anxious voice, "Uncle Pete, help me." The call was cut off. The worried man got out of bed and went out onto the balcony. he decided that one of his neighbors who had a heart condition was feeling unwell, and it was him who called asking for help. However, after looking over the street, Petro didn't notice anything unusual. For a moment, he focused on the house where Mykola lived with his children. The neighbor knew that Artem was very afraid of the dark, so even at night he always left the light on in his room. But that night, for some reason, his window was dark. Though this made the man uneasy, he likely thought the boy had finally conquered his fear. After all, looking over the street, Petro concluded that everything was fine with all his neighbors. The dogs in the yard weren't barking, no one was shouting, everything was quiet, and the night seemed just like any other. But despite this, after returning to bed, Petro tried several more times to call back the number from which someone had recently called and asked for help. However, at first the line was busy and then the phone was turned off completely. So in the end, the man gave up trying to reach the unknown caller. Meanwhile, a real nightmare was unfolding in Mykola's house, involving his daughter and son. It turned out that after coming home drunk, Mykola just couldn't fall asleep. He kept texting and calling someone while his son and daughter were sleeping in their rooms. Between 2 and 3 in the morning, the children's father went upstairs, entered his daughter's and then his son's rooms, and woke them. After that, the man told the children that today they would die. Then he went downstairs to the first floor, entered the kitchen, and turned on the gas burners. When she woke up, Artem's sister ran after their father. The girl saw what he was doing and tried to escape the house with her brother. When Mykola noticed this, he got ahead of his daughter, tore the handle off the door, and said to his children,
You're not going anywhere now.
When they realized their father planned to kill them, Artem's sister tried to stop him and shut off the gas. However, before she could do it, the man attacked her and started beating her.
How did he grab her by the hair?
He forcefully grabbed her hair and slammed her head into the drawer.
After that, Mykola took a knife and attacked his daughter again with it. Artem, seeing such a truly horrifying scene, tried to save his sister. He ran to the phone and dialed the number of their neighbor, Petro. However, he couldn't figure out who was calling him, so he didn't come to help the children of his neighbor who had lost his mind. Realizing there was no one to wait for help from, Artem grabbed a stick he found in the kitchen and started hitting his father with it. At some point, the boy's sister managed to snatch the knife from Mykola's hands and stab him in the back, but the man soon took the weapon back. After that, the sister ordered her brother to run away and hide. Despite the fact that Artem struck his father more than 20 times on the head, it didn't stop Mykola, and he began stabbing his daughter with the knife. The man first cut her arm badly, then stabbed her chest. As the forensic expert would later determine in court, this stab was fatal. The girl died due to damage to her internal organs and severe bleeding. At the same time, Artem, terrified to death, grabbed his phone and ran to the basement where he called the police. The officers responded to the call immediately. However, they couldn't get into the house right away because the front door was locked. When they finally managed to open the door, the officers got inside and found the frightened Artem in his hiding place.
He opened the doors in our rooms and went to get a knife.
Uh-huh.
I hid right away. She took the knife from him. She told me, "Run away." I grabbed the phone and ran to the bar counter, basement, and garage. I tried to open it, but he had blocked it.
Was there anyone else or any strangers in the house?
A police officer entering the house immediately smelled strong gas and shut off the supply. After that, the law enforcement officers went to the kitchen where they found the body of the 16-year-old girl and her father, who was lying nearby. At first, it seemed he had died too. The man had... However, after the room was ventilated, Mykola was found to have a pulse, and the medics sent him to the local hospital where he was later questioned. He denied everything, claiming that he hadn't touched his daughter and that she stabbed him in the back. The man allegedly only pushed the girl once, and even then it was accidental when he turned around to take a stick from Artem, which the boy was trying to hit him with.
Please tell us what happened that night.
I got hit in the back.
Was that after you turned on the gas? And who hit you in the back?
That's it, I wanted to take the knife away.
Daughter with a knife? I wanted to take it away. So you took the knife away, and what happened next?
Someone else was hitting me from behind, probably Tyoma.
That's your younger son? Yes.
And then what? I didn't hit him even once. I can tell he's already feeling bad. I turned around, and as I was turning, I pushed my daughter away once. I wanted to take away what he was hitting me with from behind. And as soon as I sat down in the kitchen, that was it.
Do you realize what you have done?
I didn't want to touch the kids. Whether she fell or she stabbed me with a knife, I don't know.
A little later, during the investigative experiment that took place at the crime scene with Artem's participation, the boy was asked if his father threatened him that night.
Did he threaten you personally?
Yes, he said he would kill us and told us to write a last message to someone.
Actually, Mykola's words contradict all the boy's statements. Well, that he didn't want to hurt the children. The morning after the incident, the family's relatives and friends woke up to see short message service messages on their phones. Mykola had sent them shortly before he started attacking the children. The man wrote that his family was destroyed, his wife had left, and he didn't know how to go on living.
She abandoned the family and told the kids. That's what he sent me. Who else did I send this to?
Even more chilling texts were read that morning in Germany. That night, Mykola called his wife Ina abroad, wrote to her about his plan, and even shared details about how he planned to take the lives of their children.
The vacation is earlier. You'll attend the family's funeral. For now, I'm trying gas. Keep cheating.
The woman was sleeping at that time and had no idea what was happening in her house in Ukraine. She only read all the messages in the morning.
The scariest part is she never finishes reading the texts. She saw something halfway, I called her, she responded, learned what happened, and then the texts began.
As you probably already guessed, the motive for this crime was the husband's jealousy toward his wife. Mykola suspected Ina left him for someone else, which caused him to change, although those close to him didn't notice these changes. According to them, Mykola generally had a reputation as a kind and good person.
As a person, he was, how can I say, he would give everything. If needed, if you need something, don't even think about buying it. I'll give you everything you need. He would give everything. But later, Tioma told us he was an informant at home in his own house. They called him a friend of the tyrant.
And indeed, behind closed doors, the man turned into a tyrant for his children, taking out his anger on them because of his wife's betrayal. The investigation revealed that after Ina left, Mykola began showing aggression toward both his daughter and son. He started treating them very harshly. Perhaps that's why Artem wiped his plate at the neighbors after he ate a piece of cake. He was likely afraid his father would get angry over something so minor. During their conversation with the 12-year-old boy, law enforcement officers also learned that he had tried to inform the neighbors about the violence in his family that day.
And even when the boy and his father were at the neighbors, he tried to signal about the violence against him and that he was in danger. The well-known sign when the thumb is pressed by the other fingers. But the neighbors didn't understand what this sign meant, and so of course they didn't pay any attention to it.
However, neither Artem nor his sister ever directly complained about their father. At school and in the clubs the children attended, it was reported that the administration had no idea about the violence in this family. Neighbor Petro said that on the eve of the crime, while they were celebrating his wife's birthday, Mykola finally confessed to his friends what was really bothering him. According to his story, he had a big argument with his wife when he found out that Ina was planning to leave the family because she had found someone abroad and didn't want to come back home. That's why he got so drunk that day. Despite this, nothing in Mykola's behavior indicated the terrible crime he was planning to commit just a few hours later. As law enforcement later found out, on the night of the attack, after returning from a birthday celebration, the man first called his wife. Mykola insisted the woman reveal her lover's face and tried to involve the children too. He tried to force Artem and his sister to tell their mother to come back to them, or at least to tell them about her new man. But the children refused to take part in this and went to their rooms. At that moment, Mykola decided to get revenge on his wife for her betrayal. How? Well, as you already know, by killing his own children. After the crime, he also attempted to take his own life. However, the police called the medics in time, so the man was saved.
When we arrived today, it's like in a movie, seeing blood and knowing it's your own brother, a murderer. And your nieces are nearby, and the neighbors came over. Everyone says he was normal. We talked, sat together, helped each other. He was a good guy. The homeroom teacher says, yes, he came to the meetings. He was always like, yes, yes, yes. And he even sent a text message saying the child was getting a vaccination. Anya took her for vaccination. Both cards were in the room.
Mykola's sister also talked about how, shortly before the crime, she wanted to take her nieces and nephews to her place for the holidays, but her brother refused. He said he'd go crazy if left alone in the empty house. The woman tried to persuade him, saying that he didn't spend that much time at work, but Mykola stood his ground. Then his sister suggested that her son come and stay with the man, have fun with his children and all that. Mykola agreed to such a proposal. All this happened just a few weeks before the crime. The woman's son returned home just before the murder, and she now recalls the story with horror. I let my little one come here.
Can you imagine this breakdown could have happened at any moment?
After Mykola was hospitalized, he was immediately arrested. He was treated in a specialized ward where guards were assigned to him so he wouldn't escape. Initially, his actions were classified under the article on intentional murder, for which he could face life imprisonment. However, the final decision on this was to be made after the examinations and the pretrial investigation. At that moment, while he was still in his hospital bed, he was asked if he wanted to say anything to his wife. He said only one thing:
Let her keep cheating.
Throughout the entire pretrial investigation, Mykola was held in custody, and in June 2024, information appeared in the press that the court had delivered its verdict in this case. Despite this, the prosecutors managed to prove that on the eve of the murder, during a phone conversation fueled by jealousy, the man had an argument with his wife. To take revenge on her, he decided to kill the children. The court found the man guilty of murdering his daughter and attempting to murder his son. However, Mykola did not receive a life sentence. Instead, he was sentenced to up to 15 years in prison. As for Artem, he moved to Germany, where he now lives with his mother. Well, that's such a creepy story, dear ones. Please take care of yourselves, and thank you for watching the video until the end. See you in the next one.